So, anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, well, I'm going to hold on on something because we said this that we had the first George Magazine line, we did the second one. When are you going to be? I don't think you've ever, I know you haven't ever made a public appearance anywhere. Are you, when is this coming out so I can actually see you?
Well, first of all, I'm public all over the place. You made a public appearance at
yeah, I'm saying here, guys, would you like to see David Lance here?
All right, what's this?
All right, now, hey, talk about Spooky Dookie. You did the Larry Giordano thing. What's up, Larry?
Larry is fantastic, and that brings up a whole other topic. Now, Larry is somebody that worked on the first George. He's been with us from the beginning, and for all of the, this is the reason why we face such strong headwinds against people that are out there, specifically on X and elsewhere, claiming that we're not George, we're not the real George, those guys are not real, whatever the hell they're saying. The problem is, being George and being the real George, we're the only ones that can really call them out. Because who are these characters? Who are they? We don't know who they are. They should walk around with theme songs and people who are you? That should be that whole theme song. So this is having Larry on board and all that we do and the articles that we put out, that's what we're begging you to read the magazine. The articles are chock full of all the information that you're looking for. Might ruffle your feathers, but it's what you're looking for.
Okay, Dave, I'm going to put you on the spot here because after we did George Magazine Live last year, we came out with the calendar, and then we came out with the map, and I mean, we've always had the ability to come up with certain coincidences, let's say this. Any clue of how all this goes about, how it happens? The map, we talk about it all the time with all the stuff you see there. I didn't want to, we discussed and I already told everyone that when it came to the map, we purposely avoided anything with the Los Angeles fire, even though in the calendar it appeared, the image almost appeared almost verbatim in the news.
Yeah.
I don't know, you give me a hint, give us a hint of how all this happens.
Okay, so Gene knows the story. I got basically an envelope in the mail with those images. And I said to him, what do you think, what do you want to do with this? And then we talked about it for a while, and that's how the calendar was born. And we're probably willing if something else like that happens again, which it very well could be. We'll have another calendar.
I want more than that. No, okay. Now, when it comes to that, what do you think? Okay, there's one thing to say that we are ahead of the news. We've been doing this, so like, if there's an article we wrote, who knew? It comes out later on. It is this. But do you think that
it's not like the article is written like 3 days ago, and the news happens 3 days later. These are articles that are written months in advance, and then these news items hit the site. The problem that we're having, and our people have, is that they're not reading the magazine. They're buying the magazine, and they're keeping it in the nice plastic, and they're keeping it nice and safe.
I keep my magazine safe. Come on.
But you gotta read the magazine. That's where everything is, and that's why we've been going on a crusade recently, pointing out articles that have been written 3-4 months ago that are now in the news.
Okay, so a couple of them are really interesting. I just get back to the fact, but you have the Super Bowl trophy where Lincoln Financial Field is. We talked about that. The thing with NVIDIA on the map and everything else. We said that we wouldn't talk about when it happened in Los Angeles fires. So there's other things. Now, when it comes to that, do you foresee another going into the future, or do you think that this was a lot of the stuff that we already approved is like, hey, listen, if you want to listen to us, listen to us. If not, don't listen to us.
No, there's a tremendous amount of information unfolding all the time. For example, I'll give you an example that happened today. And this is going to annoy some people in the audience, but it doesn't matter. There are people on our least favorite social media platform, X, that are going to tell you, and they're posting it right now, that the peace deal, that the peace deal being brokered by President Trump between President Putin and Zelensky is already done, and they're watching a movie. These people have gotten high off their own supply one too many times. That is not the case. There is plenty that still needs to be worked out, but the USA holds all the cards. Apparently, Putin does not want a ceasefire. He wants to continue on his aggression on Ukraine. And the president is pulling back on demanding a ceasefire, which is rather in Europe, which is all well and good. So we already know that Russia is on its, it's on its last legs with the war. They are hemorrhaging cash and people. So, yeah, you want to continue fighting, fine. We'll just continue on in Ukraine. Go ahead. Have at it.
Okay, really quick with that. Now, we have all this stuff going on. We here at Georgia Magazine are never about false hope. We're talking about that. But at the same time, there was a certain timeline of what a person could reasonably expect. And there's a reason for it. But like, from now until August, the next year or so, do you see it as good times or bad times for America in general?
Much better. Much better. Things will start to shape up here in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 months. Don't forget, President Trump this is his 7th month in office. And people are like, oh, nothing's happening. That is such a crock. It's only a 7th month in office. Pedophile rapists, arrests are being made left and right. Enormous amount of good things have been going on. What you have to remember is that the bitch brigade from X doesn't want to say that because it hurts them financially. We have to stop thinking critically about these people that have lied to you day and night on that platform. That's why we were like, look, this platform is full of liars and bots. And even that's coming out in the news now. That 76% of the traffic on X is bots. So we were like, hey, we gotta get off of here. Let's move to Facebook where they're already figured it out.
The other thing about it, we talked about this before on Facebook, the last 9 months we got 10 million views, and that's just on Facebook.
Yeah.
Very difficult to do because on Facebook they don't allow the bots to come behind you to manipulate.
Right. And even some of the posts that we made, I've gotten one, on a couple of them, I haven't gotten, to me, they were fine, but they sent us a warning saying, you can't go that far forward. But okay.
All right, so now we have that, let's talk the next year. Okay, we've been saying why we feel so good about this for other reasons.
So over the course of the next 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 months, we're going to start to see a whole change in the economy, in the price of goods, in the feel in this country and everything else. It's all going to start turning around to the better. And G and I have been talking on this podcast and on our Facebook Live shows about this continually. That when Trump came into office the second time, he had to make Machiavellian moves. In other words, all of the bad stuff had to get done right away. So that there can be plenty of recovery time heading into the midterms. So that's why I'm just saying that you're going to start to see things start controlling, everything will start looking a lot better, the economy and so on. The public sentiment will start looking a lot better, sailing into the midterm.
Okay, let's talk really quick about the actual purpose of George Magazine. The two commissions that we have had is to number one, unite America, which we talked about, and kind of like a bonus, not to say second, but not too much preach to the world, I would say, because it's not like that, but just to be like not embarrassed or ashamed of the Christ. Even though that's not the main purpose of what we're doing.
Right. The main purpose is unifying the citizenry, the people of the United States under a common political environment. In other words, getting that look. Gene, I know there are people in the audience that are Yankees fans. Gene is a Mets fan. And the thing is, there used to be a time where you could sit down and discuss your favorite baseball team, and that's all it was. It was a discussion, but you were still friends. The political climate today is such that when people sit down and are on opposite sides of the aisle, there's no discussion. There's so much hatred and anger and so on. We've got to get away from that.
But at the same time, when Donald Trump first came into started running, I mean, I was part of that. Like, hey, fake news, this is all the libs. I mean, I was fully a part of it, where we wanted as much separation between us and them, and that was what gave MAGA its strength in a sense. Isn't that what we really want? Don't we want to be separated and try to convince everyone to come to our side, so to speak?
We don't have a side. As long as we're divided, we'll lose it. There's no side. There can't be any sides. We have to be united people. That's it. And the other part of our commission, and you know this very well, Gene, is through that to point people to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay. All right, let's just go there. So, you guys want to talk a little bit about Q1, right? Okay. Now, we have this post here with Hello George, and I just posted that the other day with that. I mean, do you think that this is all just, I don't know, how do you think this all work out? I mean, some of it,
Look, I'm a guy that's been in IT for a long time.
say that again, what?
I'm a guy that has been in the IT world for a long time. I know all about the 4chan boards and so on. Anyway, to make a long story short, where everybody got off track was this. When those Q posts started coming out, the same meatheads that are on X right now, lying there behind you, took those posts and started to explain them to people who were not on those boards or whatever it is. And that gang of whatever you want to call them, Q explainers, whatever, they became all entangled between truth and fiction and not understanding what the posts were all about. And it almost became like a rat team, you know? Like all the tails got entangled and stuff like that. So unraveling that is a very difficult task because there's so much, there's real information and there's a lot of disinformation in those posts because everybody was reading them, right?
Right, but at this point though, because many of them, my anon friends, they're really good people.
Let's talk about your anon friends. Let's talk about your anon friends for a second. Who are these anons? You know, anon is supposed to stand for anonymous, right? Who are? They're all out there.
Okay, so is it disparaging? But But look at how many people actually still follow Q. Last time we did a post on that, it was like overwhelming. We couldn't even believe it, how many people still follow Q.
Right.
So how did this happen? Like just that one post with Hello George. That whole Hello George thing was talking about, if you read it, I forgot what the post was, but the Hello George was talking about mainstream media. What's your, okay, I'll just ask you, how is this done? What you get? What are they like? Now we talk about a time machine or whatever, I mean...
Well, we know that there's no time travel. I know people are going to disagree with that. There's no time travel. So, but there is remote viewing, there is Project Looking Glass, there is a coronavirus, Pfizer, there are a lot of other tools that have been done. But what you have to realize is this, if you're looking into the matrix, and there's an event that's out there on the horizon, and you can see that event. The problem is that any other situation that comes along, another event, can splash down, create a wave, and your event is gone.
Okay, so if someone theoretically saw that and saw, hey, I don't like these people in charge, then doesn't it all look the smoke that, like, hey, we look forward to a great future. Can't they intercept that?
That's a good point. Some does go up in smoke, and some remains. Some, and then the ones that remain have to be worded and put out there because the bad people are reading them too. Right? So if you were trying to convey information, you wouldn't convey it in a way that's so easy to understand. Right?
Right. Okay. So let's go into the future here. My thing, and I'm not part of this, but like so many stuff. I didn't even know this stuff after stuff Larry was talking about. I literally, when Larry did that thing, I didn't know what he was going to post. He gave it to me last night because he's going to the hospital. I told everyone, but I didn't know a lot of this stuff that happened. But it seemed to me that a lot of this stuff, the crazy coincidences. I mean, not only the calendar, but the memory.
You never thought about him getting the little tiny photograph, right? Little tiny piece of film.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't get it.
That was look at the cover out of this.
Are you talking about my photos? Or right.
No, I know.
Okay,
So
so
mom's little picture that he sent Larry. You know, I don't know what he took it on. I think he took it on the kids' camera.
right, okay, way back when it was 35 millimeter. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It wasn't professionally done per se. Because all right. So my thing is this. All right. A lot of the stuff that we did, all of it came. I'm telling you, right after George Magazine Live last year. Exactly right after that. It was like, okay. It was almost like, okay, this shows your legacy. So all these things happened. The calendar, which was crazy, the JPEG image, then the map, which I couldn't even believe it. I think it was shown to tell people, hey, you know what? They're already doing the news before the news, and now they have this. It's very difficult, especially interviewing all these people. RFK, all the people. So do you think that we and George will get to the point that we can actually be, I know we are mainstream in that sense, but like, does all of this go away where George Magazine stops having spooky things like another calendar or whatever? Because to me, it's like, I don't even know how anyone can say anything about it when we post something or print something, and then months later, it actually appears in the news the same way. Do you think that's all going away, or that?
No. All of that is only going to intensify over the next 4 years.
All right, I know that.
Well, yeah.
I try to tell people.
Hey, listen, everybody, I just want to say, give it up for Gene. Gene came to me with the idea of doing these live events and so forth about 2 years ago, and I looked at him, we were on a Zoom call, was like, what are you talking about? So he went to work and got it organized and everything. Last year was the first one, and it worked out great. This is our second one. We're in an arena. We've got, and I just think we did a fantastic job.
Pastor, you guys here last night a little bit. You guys here when Pastor Bob was like this last week?
I said, so speak to me. See. You don't need Bob, you don't need Paul, you don't need Peter, you don't need Caesar, you don't need Elvis, you need Jesus.
That one is one of my favorite clips. Oh, by the way, so we had a great time there yesterday at Hotel Hot Springs. Anyone stay in the Hotel Hot Springs there? Had a great time. I checked in. They gave me at the hotel the presidential suite. How about that, right? So Bobjoyce checks in, and who knew they gave him the Elvis suite? You'll meet Luther Ray. Luther Ray is my best friend at the church, right? Luther Ray, stand up, please. The dwarf. He is huge because about my joke. It was a holy thing. Anyway, Luther Ray is one of the, not one of them, he's a drummer. Hopefully we'll get to encourage us tomorrow as well. It's going to be great. My son is playing in the band. Later on, he's already learning to play bass guitar, so he's going to be in the bass later on. Thanks to Luther Ray and all this stuff. Okay, Dave Blake, before I get you out of here, anything you want to else you want to talk about?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Number one, for everybody out there that's in business, this is just things you thought that had over the last couple of hours. Don't copy the best things that your competitors do. I know that sounds antithesis to anything that you might want to try to start in business. Don't copy the best things that your competitors are doing. Find what they stink at, and then do that really well, and you'll be successful.
All right, great. All right, guys, can you give it up for Dave Blaze? Thank you so much. All right. Okay, let's do this. We're going to go. We got Adriana coming up here, but just to do one more break, we're going to take a little bit of break, not even 10 minutes. Come back, when we come back, we still have a lot. We have Adriana Durrett, who is a professional MMA. We have Tori Delori, we have David Stelzer, and we also have our comedians coming up. So just stick around. We'll just take a little break when you're playing. Go ahead, DJ.
All right, give it up for Gene and Dave Blaze.